so let me stay this way. Jesus, there's freedom in your name. You break every chain, oh Lord. 'Cause you are above every name, Jesus. Oh, you set me free. Now I live my life singing songs of praise, proclaiming everything you've done for me. 'Cause my walls came down when your love shone through. And now my life will never be the same. 'Cause you love me too much to let me stay this way. Jesus, there's freedom in your name.
All right, welcome to the Warrior's Way. Our warrior this week is Carlos. Say good morning, Carlos.
Hi, how are you, everybody?
All right, before we get to him, if you've not gone to spiritualwarfareunit.com and checked out the nonprofits that we work with and partnerships, if you're struggling or you know somebody that is struggling, tell them to go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on the three lines on the right, get you to struggling. We have 16 different nonprofits for food or clothes or baby formula or housing, job training, therapy, medical, and the less you have, the easier it is for you going to be able to do it. And if you're doing fine, we all know somebody that's struggling. You can be the person that bring them the help that they need. So go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Today we are talking with my buddy Carlos Lopez Negrete. Is that close?
It's Negretti, but...
Negretti?
Negretti.
Negretti?
But close enough, you got it there.
I like gritty. It sounds tough, man.
It
sounds mean.
I have to be a little gritty sometimes.
Yeah, right. All right. So you come on and you are a lawyer. What kind of lawyer are you?
I'm a family law attorney. I pretty much do everything in that area. I do some estate planning. I have done some criminal stuff and some voluntary court stuff, helping people get out of their charges when they get brought in for non-payment of support. I work as a corporate attorney right now for a foreign company out of Mexico. I do a few things.
So do you work with like dudes?
Yes. I have worked with men on very difficult family law issues.
Okay.
I have gone through very difficult family law issues myself.
So the reason why I have Carlos on is because sometimes as guys, it's hard to admit we need help. And you got a super great story.
Yeah.
And so I just want to set everybody's who you are and what you do, kind of. But the reason why I have it on, as a guy, it is difficult to sometimes go into a situation, go, I can't handle this, or I'm in it. And so, without stealing your thunder here, like, where do you want to start your story at? Like, growing up or post-college?
Well, I grew up in a family, it was out of Flint. My family lived here. My dad was a doctor for many years, and my mom was a teacher.
Okay.
So I grew up in a good family. I had
What years?
What years for what?
Yeah.
This is just when I was younger.
Yeah, like what year did you graduate high school?
98.
Okay. So you're a young fella still. All right.
I guess if 42 is young.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever.
I mean, no, that's really old.
Well, this is where I'm from. This town where we're in right now doing this recording, I grew up here.
Right. So you're a Flintstone.
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
a Flintstone. And honestly, it was a good family. I had two good sisters.
Were you the middle, oldest?
I was the middle kid.
That makes
It's always
some sense.
a weird position to be the middle kid.
Yeah, because you got to negotiate.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah. All right, so you're growing up two sisters. You're in Flint.
Yep.
And middle child, graduated in 1998. Anything while you were growing up that made like you who you were, or was it more later?
I went to a private school. It was called Orchard Lake St. Mary's. It was a large part of who I am. One of the reasons why was because our dorm was ran by a military guy.
Outstanding.
He was a great guy, but if you fucked around,
Oh, yeah.
am I allowed to say that? No. Okay.
Absolutely
If you were messing around, you ended up with your room getting tossed, pretty much like it would be in the military. If your room was out of sorts or dirty, or you left your crap places, you'd come in there and throw your bed around.
Were you guys like hiding drugs or alcohol or something?
There were some kids that did, yeah.
Oh, well, bottle of whiskey will get you in trouble. Get you tossed.
I mean, mostly it was
Allegedly.
like the guys hiding, herbal supplements. So, I mean, and they got caught. These guys, like, there was another guy that was an MP. He was one of the assistants, right? He was a military policeman. He would tear apart your room. They knew every place you could possibly hide it, like lamps, underneath pipes, inside pipes. If it came down to it, there was no hiding crap, and you had to realize that. But I mean, I think a lot of it was because it was an all-guys school. It messed me up socially in a way.
How's that, do you think?
Well, when I went to my reunion, I think our batting average was like 70% of us were divorced or more. And I mean, like, these
divorced?
These are good guys. 70 to 80% of us, I'd say, are divorced.
Yeah.
From that school, from my class of 100 people.
No kidding.
That's crazy. I can't even tell you. That's like more than 2/3, 3/4.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, these are good guys that probably would have done better had they had the social experience of, dating in their teens. I mean,
okay.
And I think that's just one thing. But I mean, not to say it wasn't a good school. I did really well academically. I got into good colleges and I worked hard. And
where'd you go?
I ended up going to Albion College.
Oh, okay.
It's a good school.
Yeah. I went to Adrian, so.
Okay, that's good too.
Yeah.
But like, that's how I ended up. I met my ex-wife in Albion College.
Yep.
That's how we kind of got to know each other.
So did you graduate and get married, or get married and graduate?
I graduated and then got married. We got married when I was like in law school, but it was like that's where it started. Like, well, things start before then, but you don't really see it.
Give me an example of things.
Well, abusive things started way
give me an example, because this is a tough subject,
Well, like, the physical hitting and stuff that I kind of like
slapping, or actually,
I mean,
like
a bit of both, right?
Okay.
I mean, hitting, the sensitive parts of your body, punches in the face, smacks the face, and I kind of just like ignored them. You
ignored that
in a way, yeah. I mean,
what's your heritage? What are you, like Italian?
I'm Latino.
You're Latino?
Half Latino.
You're super laid back, man.
I'm pretty laid back.
And for a Latino, you're super laid back.
Well, yeah, I guess that's fair. But I just, it was tough at that point. I mean, I've also told the story about 1 million times to people that don't understand my life or my situation. So it's like I've gotten comfortable with telling it to a certain degree now, but I was dumb. I let that stuff go, and it just got worse. And then, we ended up having a kid. And
was she like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it again," like that kind of stuff?
Every time, every time, like just would always make excuses as to why.
You got like Johnny Depp.
Yeah, repeatedly.
Wow.
And and that's why, like, when I watched his trial, like, I knew like exactly where he was coming from.
Like, could you tell?
Yes.
Wow. Like, what was, like, give me something that, like,
what about why I knew Amber Heard was an abuser?
Okay, so you got inside baseball on this, right?
Well, it was just the way she answered questions, and her, like, she almost had a flat affect all the time. The way she behaved, the constant trying to course correct when people called her on her bullshit or stuff. And like, that was kind of some of the reasons. Yeah. And then in addition to like saying that, when he had all these pictures, this is just fake because of this reason, constantly trying to make excuses to make herself look like a victim.
And that was the identification mark of her trying to make herself look like the victim of the things that she was
correct. Even though she was the aggressor. Yeah. I mean, there was audio tapes. I had listened to those audio tapes.
No kidding.
A long time before. Like he had went public with them, and then like everybody acted like they were a new thing. You look at YouTube, they're like, "Wow, we just heard the tapes, and you won't believe what's happening next."
Yeah.
And it's just I knew right away, even when he was getting fired from Fantastic Beasts, like it was BS. She was using the media and made this article to attack him because at that point she figured, well, I'm going to use this for clout, and he's not going to strike back because I'm a woman.
Right.
That's basically what it came down to.
All right, so this is a perfect time to take a quick break. We're going to go into a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get into your experiences and what you had done, and hopefully this will help some guys with things that you're working on. You guys sit tight. We'll be right back. Taking a quick break from our
trying really hard to
podcast.
censor
I
myself.
wanted to let you know about our life application program that we have for churches and nonprofits in the area that are trying to find programming that they can use in case the corona shuts you down and you're not able to get in. You go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. You click on our episodes and you can check out our programs for as little as $29.99 a month to make sure that we're still getting the word out to those people that need it. Now, back to the program. All right, welcome back to the Warrior's Way. Our warrior this week is Carlos Lopez, and his law firm is the Carlos Lopez Negretti Law Firm.
Yes.
Yeah, intuitive name.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not trying to get cute with it.
Yeah, right. And so he is my friend, and he is here to talk about men who struggle with abuse in relationships. It's something that a lot of guys won't talk about, and it's a subject that's kind of been popularized by the whole Heard Depp trial. So
Thank God for that, yeah.
So you're getting on there. So you're post college. You're going into law school. Your girlfriend and you, fiance, or getting along. She struggles with violence and expressing herself. And you're putting up with that, and you're just like, oh, it's all good, you know.
Well, I tried to I am a very forgiving person by nature.
Yeah.
I try to understand people's struggles, you know. And I mean, when people make excuses, I accepted excuses far too many times in this instance. Yeah. I should have pulled the plug long before we ever even got there.
Okay, but you didn't, because you're young and you're a guy, and
it's just, I mean, you think you know.
Yeah, I got this, right?
But you don't.
All right, so you're in your early 20s now?
Yeah, I was 23, I think, when I got married, way too young.
You got married at 23?
Yeah.
All right.
Way too young.
So you guys already having a baby at this time?
No.
Okay.
That didn't happen for a couple of years.
Okay, so you got married and you thought, I can live with this is all right?
Yeah. Well, you know, after a certain point, and this is like true of abuse situations, it's like you feel totally, beholden to this other person. They manipulated you. They had gamed you as to the reasons, or maybe you're part of the reason, or whatever excuse they're trying to convince you of that is reality. Because in a way, perception is reality. Yeah. And they try to cut you off from your family, friends, and she was super controlling. Okay. And she would yell at me if I wanted to spend time with friends. She wasn't okay with my family. She complained about them all the time.
Why not? Was there something specific, or
this was just like
people you'd listen to other than her?
That was. Wow. I know the reason now was why she did what she did. Yeah, to keep me right where she wanted me to stay. And I mean, knowing now a little bit what I've learned about psychology and stuff, I don't want to label anything because I'm not a psychologist, to be honest. But it's like, those were signs of a psychological disorder that I'm not going to name by name.
No, that's fine, because you're also dealing with codependency on your side. So
and that was like unfortunate because.
All right, so you got these two things coming together, and you figure marriage will fix it.
I mean, you think that it's what you want. I thought it was what I wanted.
Okay. Was she pushing for that, or?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Very much so.
So you're in the situation with this personality type, we'll say aggressive personality type. Yeah. And as a guy, it's super hard to be like, hey, bro, my girlfriend, did your girlfriend hit you? I mean, like, did you get tagged in the speed bag? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's all funny.
How do you have that conversation when that's happening, right? And you're getting like legit hurt, right?
I mean, no, yeah.
You're like getting legit hurt.
Yeah, it got worse, only worse from there.
So you get married, and we're in that And how long was it? Like,
I mean, we were not married very long.
6 months or less?
Like a couple, like we had our first child in 2005. It was like summer of 2003 was when we got married. We got our first child in 2005.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was an unhealthy relationship that I just kept with, and she was just getting worse with my parents. She would say stuff like, "I wish your mom would die."
Wow.
And like,
What was the angst?
She wanted like access to my parents' money. She had stolen things from my mom and dad.
How did you catch that?
I mean, I had found out about it. You know,
There's a story there, bro. You can't just throw that one out there.
It's true. She had stolen
Like, how did you find out?
I found out about it because I saw the stuff, and I figured out later it was from. You know, but you just.
How did you handle that?
You're just in this relationship, and I mean, those are the kind of situation when you're put down like that, you forgive ridiculous things.
So you just let it go. It's okay.
I just tried to like live, and it was like super confusing.
Hold on, back up. When you mean I just tried to live, what do you mean when you say that?
I mean, tolerate it. You
just exist.
You'd exist.
God,
because
dude,
like at that
that's
point,
not living.
No, it's not.
You're surviving is what you're saying.
I was in survival mode.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you're like, wow, I got this wife that's beating me up, and she's stealing my parents' stuff.
Yeah.
And she's treating me bad, and I don't know what to do.
Exactly.
And you didn't go to your parents for help? I mean,
I did eventually. That's how I.
How long, like, did you put up with this stuff?
Well, it was until like, you know, things just got so bad I couldn't live with it anymore, and I took off.
So, like, what was the moment where you said, "That's it, I'm done"? What happened there?
I knew that she was trying to bring another kid in the relationship. I knew that she was unhealthy for me and for my daughter. I think having the kid and getting that full perspective
But there had to
of
be
how I wanted my kid to be raised.
Yeah,
and
but there
what I
had to be
wanted
like
for
a
her.
moment where like something happened, and you're like, no.
There were several moments.
Like, what were those things, Steve?
I mean, like one of the worst ones was getting shoved down the stairs. That was a really bad
Shut up.
one. No.
From the top of the stairs?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you got to tell us that one.
Well, she was just at the top of the stairs and we were arguing, and she just decided to shove me. And then, like, I fell head over heels down the stairs until I hit the wall.
People die that way, man. Like, stuntmen die that
And
way.
I did think about that because I thought about, like, you know, what if I would have died?
Yeah.
She would have told my parents whatever
Slipped
she
and
wanted.
fell or whatever.
Oh, you just fell, you know? And my daughter would never have gotten to know me. That's one of the things I did think
Yeah,
about.
that's kind of a red flag.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
That was one major one.
Okay.
That affected me.
Like, what else? Because it seems like it came in waves. Just like,
Well,
bang, bang,
it was.
bang.
I mean, there was some seriously big parts. I mean, she hit me in the head with a paperweight once.
A paperweight.
Yeah.
Were you like sitting at a desk or something?
I mean, the context was I was like sitting or standing. It was over 20 years ago.
Okay.
If I had to say, it did happen that and she hit.
Was
me.
it from behind or?
I think so. Yes.
Wow.
And then like.
So she's just like, enough of you.
I mean, the testicular stuff I had taken was probably the worst. Like she hit me.
How many times did this happen?
I could.
You lost count?
I couldn't even tell you the number. I
Was
mean,
there like hospitalization issues?
I mean,
wasn't there something?
It affected me later in life. Yeah.
God, dude.
And then but in the end, like I think the stairs one was really like a huge one. I mean, she tried to stab me with a big knife before.
Wait a minute, for real?
Yeah. And then
Like, for real?
not like that. It was more like this.
He's like, no, the angles. Sorry, that one struck me. So, like, she got mad, was like, oh, yeah, and
She just happened to be holding a knife at the time. I got.
Was she, like, doing, like, cooking something and then was
Yeah,
like...
I mean, it wasn't like... It was more like it was a thrust. And then, like... and then
Like, so you had to, like...
Yes, I had to...
Wow!
And then, like, she hit me with a fire poker before.
A fire poker?
Yeah. I mean, it messed up one of my wrists.
You think?
Because I blocked it. And then, like... I mean, these are just things...
Are you telling people that this is going on?
I mean, I tell the people that need to hear it.
Like, at the time, like, who was your outlet?
I mean...
Just your parents, or?
I told, when everything got... Like, when I left, I told them everything.
Yeah.
And then, like, I was telling her her mom in hopes that she would maybe talk to her about it and maybe try to get her some help.
How was their relationship, her mom and her?
It was just an unhealthy relationship. She didn't have healthy relationships. She had transitioned in and out of friendships.
Why do you think she was like that? I mean,
I think that when people have these problems, they don't hang out in friendships for very long. Like you or me and most people, I have a friend that goes all the way back to when I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Still friends with him to this day.
Yeah.
I was 10.
Yeah,
That's
I got a couple
over
of those.
30 years.
Yeah.
She had friends. None of them were over a year or two old.
because once they got to know her, that was like, nope.
No, yep. And then
crazy
like
came out.
I can almost guarantee you none of them are her friends now.
Yeah.
None of them.
So you're saying it's not just dudes in relationships that are creating these issues.
No.
And this is what makes this a super conversation, because a lot of guys aren't going to go, dude, I need some help, right? This is what makes this an awesome conversation. Okay, so you had a couple of serious, being stabbed is serious, getting hit with a poker is
It
serious.
wasn't hot, but it was a poker.
In my mind, it's right. So
Okay.
not a hot poker, but it was a regular poker that you got beat in the wrist with, because that's better. All right. So and then you got pushed down the stairs and survived. So you go to your parents. Like, what was the move? You're like, I'm leaving the house.
I knew she wanted to bring another child.
She wanted to have another baby.
And I was like, and I was worried about what was going to happen in the future with my kid as it was.
No kidding.
I had to do something, and I left and took my dog, and I didn't look back.
Where'd you go?
My parents' house.
Okay, and you told them, and what was there?
They were shocked that it had gotten that bad. And,
No kidding.
yeah. And like my mom knew that she had like smashed my computer at one point for school. And like that was like a conversation.
Yeah.
But it's like she had never knew how bad like physically I had gotten hit.
Yeah.
And it's like, as a guy, I internalized a lot of it. You never
Sure.
want to admit those issues in
Yeah.
a relationship as a man, because you somehow feel weaker because of it. But Jesus Christ, don't keep that stuff to yourself.
Yeah, no, because I got to imagine the depression and
It was
and just
bad.
how you felt about you was like pretty tough, right?
I mean, you think that you're worthless at that point, but it's like,
Yeah.
you're not.
No.
This is just the person gaming your head to the point of where they think they can just do whatever they want to you and you'll just take it.
Yeah.
And after a certain point, I made a stand and I didn't give up, and I knew that I couldn't.
All right, so you had your parents in your corner. How old are you when this
Oh,
happened?
Jesus, 25.
Well, you only married for a couple years.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I wasn't
So it
even-
went like, wow,
Yeah.
to a 10.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Maybe it was 26. It was,
So how long did you go out to marriage to divorce? How long was all that process?
I mean, it was 2 years.
So when you were in college, you met her right at the end of college?
Yeah, it was like I was just right in the middle of it.
Okay.
But I mean, it progressed like any normal relationship would. But you know, I mean, having less experience made me less aware.
Well, everybody has less experience.
No, I think it was less experience than most people. Less experience.
Oh, because of the social upbringing, the boys' school, and all
Yeah,
that. So,
I think that
attention of any direction.
I mean, like I said, 3/4 of my graduating class was divorced.
Yeah, healthy decision-making process with the opposite sex.
My one of my really good friends from high school, his ex had turned violent to a degree, and she was crazy, and he had to go through the same sort of thing.
Is this one of your friends from high
High
school?
school, yeah.
Wow.
Brilliant guy. He's an investment banker, very smart. 2 kids of his own. He is the primary custodian now because like she was just that off the wall, but he had to deal with all the crap for years.
Yeah.
And then like I've met other people, military people, like Navy SEALs who've told me
Yeah.
they were abused. I mean, so it's not like you're not weak. I mean, you're raised your whole
And
life.
it's not a normal, was what you're telling me.
Yeah, you're not weak because you're not hitting back.
Yeah.
I mean, like no one's gonna call like a Navy SEAL. Oh, you're just like a big
wuss.
a big wuss because you can't.
How dare you hit your wife or let your wife hit you and not hit her back, you wuss?
Yeah,
I don't think it works that way. That's not like when you say stuff like that. My mind doesn't work that way. Like if someone was doing that, I'd be like, "What are you doing? I mean, what? Stop! What?
we all
use
try
your words."
We all try that. We try to remove ourselves from the situation, and that sounds good on paper.
Yeah, but when it's
when it's happening to you, you have to get away from it as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And that's what everything I try to do every time. Like I either block or try and evade.
Wait, you say that one more time.
Block or evade.
Blocker. So in your system, you're like, you're like, all right, depending on, so it wasn't flight or flight, it was block or evade. There wasn't fight in there. It was just, it was, wow.
And like a lot of times, even when, and this is true, the statistics will back me up on it. Mm-hmm. Like when men are getting hit or like the police are called, even though the man has physical damage on him, he'll get arrested.
Wow.
And it's true.
Statistically, he'll get arrested even though he was the one that was attacked.
Even because that's who they take away.
Wow.
And I mean, it happens all the time. It's kind of a little disturbing. And
what's you said the stats back you up on that. Do you know those stats?
Do I know off the top of my head? I've read them. I do not know them. Right. But I can tell you, like, having seen what I've seen and having talked to people, even when they're not involved in a physical confrontation, like the woman is hitting them, they're going to take her away. If her knuckles are bruised from hitting you, they'll probably blame you for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to do this, but we got to take a break.
All right.
If you guys haven't gone to spiritualwarfareunit.com, go on there. One of our support programs is UCAN, and they work with therapists where you can go on there and get help. If you're struggling with something, you give them a call. You guys sit tight. We're going to be right back.
I'm really impressed with the teachings that Isaac has been bringing to us, as this is all based from Proverbs.
I like it because it's simple, and it doesn't matter who you are. It's very easy to understand and apply to your life.
It points out, my bad parts, and but it's showing me how to do the good parts, and I'm trying to apply that and make a better life for myself because I'm tired of where I've been.
It's impacted a lot of the guys as they continue to talk and ask questions after the meetings, as they speak to one another regarding the meeting and the messages and the topics that are being brought up, which are down-to-earth topics of situations and things that we live with on a day-to-day basis.
He takes the Bible and he breaks it down into simple terms and where you can understand. And like I said before, sometimes a lot of churches, even the Salvation Army, sometimes we start using these big words that people don't understand, like even saying someone got saved. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean when you say someone got saved? And it's accepting Jesus into your heart. So it's like words like that we use that people don't understand.
It's just very interesting how he points out, the different things of, the sin part, and then he comes back with the, how to make it better, and he just points it out. It's there. I didn't know all this stuff was in there, but now that he's pointing it out, it's like, wow, I guess if you really dig into the Bible, you find these things.
This is a daily moral standards that we can live by, that the teachings are coming from. And honestly, we can take verse by verse as what he's done, and pretty much he's done the hard work for us and now laying it out so that we have an easier understanding.
There's some people who don't like to be in Bible classes, but this one seems to get their attention.
All right, welcome back to the Warriors Way. Our warrior this week is Carlos Lopez Negrete. Is that close enough?
Negretti, but it's okay. It's
that
all right.
E's not silent.
It's fine.
That's right. I'm going to do it wrong each time so then we can get your name right. Carlos Lopez Negrete.
You got it.
Ooh, all right. So,
all right.
Because I like Negrete. I keep wanting to say that. I'm sorry. Well, you sound so tough.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But it's like, just like I said, even people that are working in your crew today, are just sharing their experiences. Also, almost stabbed by a woman.
Yeah.
It just like, I'm just telling you, man, it happens so much more than people want to care to admit.
All right,
and that judges will care to believe.
Yeah, and then you got to have like the evidence to back it up, right?
I had to go above and beyond.
All right, hold on, we're getting to that part. All right, so you leave, you get your own place. I got to imagine the process of saying I want a divorce was probably not good. And she probably didn't handle that very well.
It did not go well.
I got to imagine there's something there.
Well, so I had filed And then like she just, filed her own thing and made of an avalanche of BS. It was just,
Accusations towards
just
you.
false allegations. And that's
Now, hold on. Was those accusations of violence?
Some of them, I think. I mean, it was so long ago. I remember the general context.
Okay.
But I mean, without the document, I'm not going to paraphrase or.
Yeah, no.
specify.
I'm just saying, because that's what in Amber Heard. That's what she accused.
Yeah,
him.
she accused me of all kinds of junk, and then
She didn't have a dog poop in her bed or anything.
No.
Okay, because that was over the top, bro.
But this is like stuff that it affects you mentally, because like I just filed a general petition because I just wanted it over with. And I think that's what a lot of men do.
Yeah.
That's a mistake.
And tell me why it's a mistake.
It's a mistake because you don't want to censor what actually happened to you, and that's what most men in these situations do. They censor it.
And why don't they want to do that?
Because they think it makes them weak.
What makes them weak?
Talking about their abuse.
Putting up with it.
Talking about it.
You realize you telling me that sounds crazy in my head, right?
Well, yeah.
Of course you would talk about it. Like if my wife was beating me up, my wife flips tractor tires. If she came home and started flipping me, I'd be like, listen, Carlos, my wife's flipping me like a tire.
And I'll tell you this right now, but if you're with your buddies or your boys or something, and you're telling them, look, I'm in this bad situation, you might not even go into detail with them.
Yeah.
You somehow think that it makes you a weaker person. But when you're filing a petition, you should absolutely tell the truth. And that includes all the dirty laundry too. And by her being allowed to say what she said, she hurt my life even worse.
How's that?
Well, I mean, I wasn't allowed to see my kid for a ridiculous amount of time because of the courts.
Because it means you go to anger classes
No,
and all that
and I
stuff.
didn't even have to go to anger class. It was just some BS that she made up, and they didn't let me see my kid for almost a year.
And how old?
My daughter?
Yeah.
She would just turn 1. And then I wasn't allowed to see her for basically no reason other than the story she told. And that happens all the time.
All right, so you get into this divorce. How bad was it?
Oh, it's brutal. I was on the stand for days. My mom.
Days.
It had to be 8-9 days. It was long.
Yeah.
And I'm talking 9 to 5. It was like a job. And it was
for 8 or 9 days.
Yeah.
What the heck were they grilling you about?
It was 23 days when I was in court.
23 days you were in court.
In trial, yeah. It's it was brutal. And then my mom, they also put her through 5 days of just to try and.
The other lawyer?
Yeah. Wow. Just to try and dig and manipulate as much as they could, because they really didn't have anything. This was just a story she concocted. She had no.
There was no proof.
There was no proof. I had tons of proof, and I still went above and beyond the proof standard. Even the judge said so. But it didn't stop her
from trying.
Getting 50% of the time, or close to 50% of the time, which was when I proved all this abuse.
Yeah.
If our genders were reversed, she would have never seen the kid again.
Really?
Yeah. It was bad. I mean, I obviously shared some of the things with you. I mean, when she almost kills you, guess what? Maybe that other person probably shouldn't interact.
Might be unhealthy.
Might be unhealthy, and they need help. She was even ordered in anger management classes, which she may or may not have done. I don't know.
Yeah. So you do the 23 days, and what happened? What was the outcome?
I basically won.
So you smashed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It took a long time, and it was brutal, and I didn't quit.
Good for you.
And it's
Did you get full custody?
See, that's the thing. They give her still a substantial amount of time. Like I said, if our genders were reversed, we wouldn't be.
But she accused you, and you didn't get to see your child for a year.
Yeah, I didn't even she proved nothing really,
right.
I never touched her, and that's the God's honest truth.
All right, so you get the divorce. In my mind, I'm just your whole life is destroyed. That's what I'm like.
Yeah,
you got to go find somewhere else. What happened to the house?
We sold the house. That was
I just split.
We just sold it, and I ended up giving basically all the money to my lawyer anyway. But it's okay,
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Sounds like you did a good job.
I didn't care at that point.
Yeah, because you were just living a fake life.
I just wanted to do everything for my kid. It was all about that at that point. And I think a lot of fathers are like that. And and when they get cut out like that, it's terrible for the kid.
Yeah.
And it's unhealthy. And I think it's not a good way to be, and it's not a good part of the culture.
Okay, so you're how old when this happens?
Oh, geez.
26?
When I divorced.
Divorce, yeah, when it's finished.
2008, yeah, 28.
All right, so you're 28.
Yeah.
Do you have custody?
Well, I had the majority,
Okay, so she's staying with you.
but not all the time. Like
Okay, so it was a joint.
it was
Joint
it
physical,
was,
joint
it was
legal.
joint in a weird schedule at the same time, but it's not quite joint.
All right, define weird, just so we know.
I had the majority of time, but it was like, and I had the sole physical custody, which was good. So I get to make those choices and stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
I knew she wasn't going to cooperate. There were all kinds of manipulations and things she tried during the divorce to, and then she would lie.
Like, give me an example of
Oh,
it.
Jesus. Like, she was lying to the doctors when we were going in there, saying that they had to contact her immediately if I showed up. Or
I
in
got
violation of a
you. She
court
wasn't
order.
allowed to do anything unless she made a choice.
And
I
then
got
she
you.
lied to the judge in open court and wouldn't tell the judge on the record where the child was, argued with him.
She argued with the judge?
Yeah, about like telling it she didn't want. And then at that point, after that was over and we were told to go, that I could go pick up my daughter.
Yeah.
She took her out of that place and moved her. Before,
Shut up.
yeah, no, I'm not kidding. And then the judge was pissed. I'm like,
Well, you think?
and then but it's still, she kept doing that crap. She had done that crap all the way through, and even after the divorce was over, she was still doing stuff like that.
All right, so you have full cost. Where are you staying? You staying with your parents still?
To a point, and then I had an apartment of my own. I would do my parenting time there, so I could spend time with them, and my daughter could have a relationship with my parents as much as they could.
Well, when you said you did your parenting time there, what?
Parenting time is what we call it when you're visiting your child or whatever. That's like the physical custody part of the equation. Legal, there's two parts of custody. It's legal custody and physical custody.
Yeah, no, I get that. If you had physical custody, didn't she stay with you at the apartment?
No, I had legal custody.
Oh.
We had split that physical time in a way that.
So it was 50-50?
No, it was more like leaned in my direction by a higher percentage, but it's still
Was that because of the way she wanted it?
no. The judge decided that.
Okay.
But it was for the best because I was in charge of my daughter pretty much all school year.
Right.
So she wasn't at all.
Gotcha.
And I kind of make sure she would go to school, work on her homework, all the other stuff. Missing her during the summers was hard. And I mean, I'll tell some of my daughter's story, but not too much because she should tell it herself.
Yeah.
But it's just, it was bad over there for my daughter to the
Sure.
point of where we ended up going to a second trial later on.
No kidding.
And my daughter,
For your daughter?
yes,
That's
she
insane.
had to leave. It was so terrible on her mentally, and it had hurt her so bad.
No
and
kidding.
if they would have took that abuse seriously,
Yeah.
when it happened, my daughter would have never been abused by the same person that I was.
Yeah.
It was just, it brutalizes me every time. It hurts so bad to think about.
Man. So, and how long was that after, like, from the divorce, you got your apartment till your daughter was putting up with that? Was it like immediate?
It was, I couldn't tell you exactly when it started for her, but I knew it wasn't that long after. It was, she put up with it until she was 11.
Wow.
And then they called me after school and told me she was hurting herself. And then I had to do something. I knew, like, I was in shell shock. Like, I couldn't even talk for like a good 10 or 15 minutes.
So she's, your ex is single, remarried during this time?
Never remarried.
Never remarried. So she's just her and her daughter, and so somewhere along that time, the abuse went to the daughter for whatever reason.
So many types of abuse by multiple people over there without going into too many details.
Okay.
I can pick up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. No, I feel my blood pressure going up right now. So,
And I didn't know what else to do. I had to do something. You can't leave your kid in that situation.
no.
Was it expensive? Yes. Was it painful and having to unearth like the most horrible time of my life
Yeah.
a second time? Yes. But you know what? I would have crawled through
Dude,
broken
how
glass
did
for my
you
kid.
Okay, so, all right, I'm just trying to get this in here because my blood pressure going, I'm getting mad for you right now, right?
Everybody does.
Yeah, so like I can just feel the stress. All right, so you're divorced, your ex, You're splitting the time. Summers to her. You got her school year.
Yeah, she still got her in the weekends.
Yeah, like you got her. Yeah.
I got her during the weekend. She would get her in the
All right.
weekends.
So during the times that she's with her mom, things are happening to her to the point that she's hurting herself
Because she can't handle the
because she doesn't know
mental
what
stress.
to deal,
Yes.
what to do with the pain that she's dealing with. So
Yes.
she starts to hurt herself.
Correct.
You're put in this scenario, and I would have to imagine being in your shoes. I would have dropped that. I would have dropped every hammer. It wouldn't have mattered how much anything cost at that point, right? And it sounds like that's what you did. Good.
It was like I had no choice. What choice do you have?
Dude, you had to.
I had to. And it's like
Did
I
that
said,
end it? Like, was she arrested?
never any consequences beyond losing the kid. And despite all the things that I know she did and that they just overlooked, I mean, DHHS was useless. To give you an example, like, this is just an example that I'll use because it came up in court and it was like deeply disturbing to me. And after picking my daughter one time, she told me that my ex-wife had punched her into privates because she wouldn't give her a bag of popcorn. And I mean,
What?
yes, and this happened. And then
How old was she?
she had to be like 9 or 10. She was young. And then like she had punched her so hard and she's still hurt when she came back. And I called the police on the way back after she told me.
Yeah.
I stepped out and she told the cop her story.
Yeah.
He was so disturbed by it. He went and spoke with me on the porch and I told him what she said. And then like he went and talked to her. And then like he didn't want her to go back, but he was like, he
doesn't have a choice.
I don't have a choice. It's
Yeah.
not to me. If I don't do it, I'll get into trouble.
Yeah.
And he ended up coming back for the second trial and testifying as to what happened.
No kidding.
Yeah. And
Wow.
it's like, it was absolutely true. And like, that's, to be fair, that was minor when I found out what was
That situation was minor.
compared to what had happened to her. Yes.
Dude, we got to take another break, man. All right, you guys sit tight. Please go to spiritualwarfareuNet.com if you need someone that has help. If you haven't liked, share, and subscribe on Spiritual Warfare Unit, hit that button. We'll be right back.
I was like, no way. So people that are talking about breaking the rules use their fingers to speak to each other. And that's what gangs do to communicate from point A to point B. It's almost like this has been in the Bible for 2,000 years. And people feel like it's a new thing. That is unbelievable, isn't it? That things that are happening in your life today are in here from 2,000 years ago. That's very weird.
You love me too much and let me stay this way. Jesus, there's freedom in your name.
Hey, it's Aaron with UCAN. Just out here today at the Valley Area Agency on Aging event, Senior Power Day. It's been really cool. We haven't been in the senior world very long, and I know it always plays a part in our world. So we're here today to connect with that senior community and kind of talk about the proper use, misuse, storage, and disposal of medications, making sure that they're not only are they using them as prescribed, but also disposing them as needed. So we're also bringing a multitude of services here that I'm looking at that allow us to connect and expand on our senior care initiative. So it was twofold: share some information with the seniors that were out here, but also make some connection with those who are servicing the senior community to be able to expand our network of our senior initiative and make some connectivity. So we've met the folks from Valley Area Agency on Aging specifically, have some cool ideas already to work with them. We'll talk to McLaren and Genesee Health Plan as far as the Medicaid sign-ups and things like that. Veterans are here. The Genesee County Services for Veterans is here. So really have some great connectivity going. Good start to our senior care. A great day here. There's a lot of people here. There's been probably 200 to 300 people here. We've been here since 9, so it's been a rewarding event. Most people do look at our table and say addiction and don't look, but there's been those handful that do come over to us and say specifically, hey, can you come to this event, or can you come speak to us here or there? And that's kind of what we're after. We're really after the focus on how we can continually expand our reach into this community. So it's been a good day. We look forward to continuing the rest of the day, and we'll circle back again another time. Thanks again.
All right, welcome back to the Warriors Wear. Warrior this week is Carlos Lopez Negretti.
I appreciate you.
Yay! We did it. All right. So we were just getting into the battle fatigue.
Yeah, we were talking on the break.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a lot of guys realize this when they get divorced. But, like, I mean, we all think we're tough. But, I mean, this stuff is tiring on a level that I think no one ever realized.
Yeah, it's like rubbing your soul.
I mean, it's
out.
Yeah, it's bad. And then, like, you feel like so bad. So, like, in addition, like, it was the 2 years, 23 days of trial, and then all the court in between.
Yeah.
The second time, I mean, like, we went to court multiple times a year. She was always trying to fight about something, and, like, and that was terrible. And then, like...
So what was the child support scenario during that time?
She paid me nothing.
Nothing.
She didn't pay. She was forced to pay only after I took her back to court a third time after the whole decision by the judge this time.
And he agreed with you on the first time?
Yeah.
And child support wasn't set then?
No. He never gave me a thing.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, it's still something I don't understand. Probably because, like, I was still a student up until the end, but he didn't give me any.
All right, I don't want to go into the part. We're just going to skip the part. Okay, so because that seems stupid, but
it is.
So all right, so you go through this. She's 9, 10 years old. She's telling you, Dad, this is what I'm doing. After you lose your junk, I imagine you had to lose your junk in there somewhere.
Never in front of the kid.
Yeah, no.
But I did. I mean, it hurts.
Yeah,
a lot, plenty.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just was trying to help her as much I could.
All right, so you go to court, and what is this circus like?
It was a crazy situation. And like
what was her defense? I mean,
that's
fake.
The kid was just a liar. That was her.
Oh, the kid's
defense.
lying.
Yeah.
My defense is that's not true, Your Honor.
Yeah, basically. Oh, she's just a liar. She lies all the time. She actually, like, my own attorney put her on the spot, and he's like, well, you know, asked her if Esperanza was a truthful child. And, like, right away, she jumped on the grenade like a grenade, and she's like, no, she lies. She lies all the time. Said it really rapidly. Like, no way you could possibly ever believe that.
She said that her kid lies all the time?
Yeah, everyone in the community knows she lies all the time.
The community knows she's a liar.
Yeah, and this is what she said about my 11-year-old daughter. And it was like, I couldn't believe what she said, but she said it like it was like nothing.
Like it was nothing.
Just kind of like Amber Heard did. You know, I mean, like really flat.
So that's how you caught that.
Yeah,
just matter of factly.
It was, I mean, I could see her through her like she was made out of glass.
Yeah.
That woman is just a liar.
Like my favorite part about that Amber Heard trial was she was like, when she was like, did you donate to 7 million? And she was like, oh no, I what was the word she used? I pledged it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pledged it. That's not the same as donate.
Elon Musk covered her. But that's because she was fooling around with him. But I don't want to go into that too much.
Not my circus, not my monkeys.
It's not my position.
Okay, so we're in your second trial, fighting for your daughter's life, and your ex-wife's defense of abuse of her daughter was it never happened, and everybody in the community knows that she's a liar.
Yeah, that was her defense.
How did she come to that conclusion?
Just because she had no other way to go. Like,
and how did that work? Did it work?
I mean, like...
Did your daughter have to go on stage?
Yes.
Oh!
That was brutal. Let me tell you about that. My daughter ended up going on the stand, and even though we didn't want her to go because they were going to fight the hearsay grounds on everything. And that would have been her. She wanted the right to cross-examine, which is allowed. But I mean, like, there's ways around it. You can waive the hearsay problems and just use the documentary evidence and the evidence by the testimony of other people. But no, she forced her to testify. You know, it was brutal on my kid. She had a hard time.
No kidding.
Yeah.
She's how old? 10?
She was 11.
11?
At this time. And then she had to deal with that. I mean, thankfully, you know, they did it in chambers in private. And then, like, at that point, we also had, like, a guardian ad litem who was just... The woman was a saint. She was like...
She was a what?
She was a saint.
No, a guardian?
Guardian ad litem.
Ad litem, what's that mean?
It's when there's a difficult situation in the court and there's, like, concern for the kid and they want to make sure the kid's interests are represented.
Gotcha.
Sometimes you appoint a guardian ad litem, usually an attorney, but it can be a social worker or a psychologist. Thankfully, it was a mental health professional. Mm-hmm. But it's like, yeah, she was, like... great for my daughter.
Okay.
She was a saint, a wonderful person.
So your daughter has to go on stand. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then against her mom.
Yep.
And then you get done.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, it turned out like her custody, she just doesn't have custody anymore. Her custody is totally suspended.
Yeah, but would she did the courts ma'am, your argument's ridiculous?
I mean, yeah, that was basically like nobody took it seriously. There was no real seriously taken it.
So she was the one to be seen as lying.
Yeah. It was obvious. I don't see how it couldn't have been seen otherwise, but like at that point she had lied tons in the first trial, had lied repeatedly when we went back to the court in between.
Now, did she get caught doing this?
Many times.
All right, so she's lying under oath.
Was there any consequences beyond that?
No, of course not, right? So she's lying under oath. She made her daughter go on the stand, which it blows my brain. All right. And then the poor girl's got to stand against her mom and say, I'm not a liar. You actually beat me. That is beyond frustrating.
Yes.
So then you win. What's the result?
My daughter had a ton of problems from what happened, and we were picking up the pieces for years.
So did she doesn't see her, I hope?
Not at all.
Oh, thank God.
She tried to aggressively get back into her life, and like my daughter.
Wait a minute. Define aggressively.
Messaging her incessantly, even though my daughter sent her an email and said, do not contact me again.
Wow.
She kept emailing her. And then same thing with phone calls and stuff. She didn't want to talk to her, didn't want to see her anymore. Once she was out of that situation, It was like when I was out of the situation in a way. She was free and she saw everything. Her eyes were completely open.
Wow.
And it's like when you're in that situation with that abuser, you tolerate a ridiculous amount.
Right.
And then when you're out of it, it's like your eyes are fully open. You realize and you know that you have to do what's necessary to stay away from this person.
All right.
Mentally.
So and the fact that you had to do that, I was in a very similar situation when I was a kid. That's why I'm relating to. That's why I'm getting frustrated. 'Cause
Right.
I had to go on stand. I had to do it against my mom.
I'm sorry you had to do that.
Listen, it's not I appreciate that. It was her choice. So you get through the situation. Right? You get through the situation, and you're able to get remarried to a wonderful lady. Right?
Oh yeah.
And your daughter is how old now?
My daughter's 17 now.
All right, and she does some kind of what's her life like?
She does karate, and that was a thing she did for a long time. She was just very good at it. She was a natural at martial arts, just was. She enjoys that, and then she likes to do crafts. She likes to play video games like every other kid.
Yeah.
She's got a boyfriend that's really a nice guy.
You better be.
He better be. He's very laid back.
Yeah.
But it's like she had to suffer with so many challenges to get there. I couldn't even tell you that was literally hell to pull her back together, because all this had wrecked her like it would you or me or anybody. But when you're a child, it's 12 times worse or something like that.
Yeah.
Because you have to
But the thing is, dude, as a dad, you never quit.
No.
You didn't give up and say, well,
never quit is my motto.
There's not. Yeah, I say I don't have an off button.
No,
there's no such thing as off.
I just knew that I had to dig my shield in the ground and face it, no matter how hard it was for her.
And so you went through all of that, and your daughter has come out. Sounds like highly functional.
Yes.
Is she driving?
Yeah, we've been teaching her how to drive. And it's it was bad. I feel for the kids that went through this situation, and they need someone to stand up for them, and there's just nobody there to do it. Yeah. And I wish I could support some of the men that go through this stuff, because I don't think there's any resources for them. It's something I think about all the time. There's no men supporting other men who have been in abusive situations.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can use the same resources a woman can, and no one devotes anything to it. I think it's because it's so private. We don't talk about it like we need to. We really should talk about it.
Right.
If you're,
it is a thing.
if you're afraid, there should be a place where you can discuss it. If you need to discuss it because you're in pain, you should be able to discuss it without fear of judgment.
Right.
There's like, that's like a gender stigma we put on ourselves, and we shouldn't. It's really unhealthy.
Well, Carlos, I am so glad you came on and told the story. It's an unbelievable story, and a lot of guys can relate from several different positions on that. I'm glad to hear that, your daughter is doing well. I'm glad to know that she knows karate, honestly. That makes me feel good.
Makes me feel good too.
I bet it does.
And just, and talking about all the negative stuff, I was bringing this up, but like during the first divorce trial, I met my wife. It was just like, she is the best person I could have ever possibly met. I mean, you know my wife. She's a special lady.
Yeah.
Like, she is like one of the most important people to me ever.
Yeah.
And like, she was supportive. She was good to me. She's good with my daughter. She's smart. I think she's a very capable mother, as a stepmother. And I think that's part of the reason why my kid is doing so well now. We both were there for each other and there for the kid.
Yeah, it's amazing how a stepmom can fill that role.
And she did.
Be there. Yeah.
And she did. It was just because she didn't really have anyone else like that.
Yeah.
From her mom, she never got what she needed, ever.
Well, Carlos, I tell you what, man, we are officially out of time. This went so fast.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize.
There's so much I didn't get to say.
Well, listen, I tell you what, buddy. Here's the thing. Like, if you want to put together a thing where you're making a support group for guys or something, I will support that. I'll stick it on my website.
Yeah.
If you decide to do that, let me know how we can help you, and we'll get it out.
I would love to do that. I've been wanting to do that for years.
We'll get it done, man.
With no idea how to do something about it.
It's not hard. You just do it. You just start it. You know what? When we get off here, we're going to talk about it, and we'll get something figured out. All right. So if you've been struggling, or you're working this up, please go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. On there, we got over 16 different partners that we use to help you with all kinds of things, you and your family. And if you're not the person that needs help, you can get them help. Help us, help you, help the other people. Thanks for popping in. We'll see you guys next week. Do you have a nonprofit in your area that's doing a lot of work that people should know about? Feel free to contact Spiritual Warfare Unit at 810-715-9319, and we would love to have them on to see what good they're doing in the community and find out their story. Thank you so much.
Spent so much time believing the lies. I knew I wasn't meant to live this way, but my walls came down when your love shone through. Now my life will never be the same. You love me too much to let me stay this way.